Welcome to BrainyHeart, everyone. This is Eveline Goodman from Berlin, and I've got Aleksandra Rodenkrans on the other side of the line. Hello, Aleksandra. Where are you
Hi,
right now on Earth?
I'm in Sweden, south of Malmö, as south as you can get almost, in a place called Höllviken.
Wow. Aleksandra is the second person I'm interviewing this year who left the golden cage and dived into the organizational development of her own company. She has got a very interesting story to tell. And that is why we're diving into the conversation right immediately. Aleksandra, what would you like to say about you first before we dive into the questions?
I'm passionate. I'm passionate about getting or helping people to grow. I'm driven by leadership in the small leadership, the personal leadership, and also in the bigger arena, the organizational leadership development. And I'm excited about being one piece of the puzzle when people and organizations do move to something else, to the goals they have to fulfill what they want to fulfill.
Well, indeed, and let's just get a little bit more into detail. Alexandra has been working in corporate environments, matrix organizations, um, where lots of lobbying, where lots of layers were taking place. And Alexandra, would you like to just say about this expertise, your past expertise a little bit?
Being
And
an
your
entrepreneur,
entrepreneurship
sorry,
um, gene that you developed over the years. Tell me.
being the entrepreneur, as you introduced me, it has always been a challenge to fit into the systems or structures that you need to fit in and navigate. And I think I've done a pretty good job along the way. But the recent years, I felt that something was lacking. Felt that the lacking was the part where I actually can make the biggest impact, biggest impact for individuals and also organizations. And 2 years ago, I took the decision to start my own company. And from that day onward, I chose to only work with value based companies and who are value-based driven. That meaning that they don't just talk the values, they actually want to do a change and a difference by leading through value, leading through compassionate
Okay,
empathy.
okay, fine. But I mean, I don't want to interrupt, but this is leading through passion, leading through values. These are very,
Yeah,
um,
vague.
expressions nobody wants to hear because nobody really cognitively and emotionally understands. So, like, you have to break this very large sentence down. How do you mean with that? How do people live values? Tell me about it.
By doing what they say they're going to do, but by not avoiding difficult conversations, by when people not leading the core values or the values, you actually take the difficult conversations, you do the things you need to do, and not collective the how should I put it? Um, do changes for the entire organizations. You have guts, you have courage, and you don't over rely on hierarchy. Instead, you are looking to find the key factors that make everyone wanting to be a part of the whole.
Well,
And
hmm,
sorry.
I got you. I mean, this is what you said was beautiful. To you know um Corporates have become environments where people are just nice to and polite to each other, but nobody really addresses the disaster. So this is
Yeah.
what you said, that people don't say what they think. And this is on the long run a very, very, very becomes a very toxic environment, and it makes us sick.
Yes. Yeah.
So, did you get sick when you worked in environments like this? Tell us about it.
Yes, I developed breast cancer actually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I did. And it for some people the brain stops working and they get overwhelmed or something else happens. But I actually developed breast cancer and it wasn't genetic breast cancer, but as we know, the things we know about the body and the brain and our as a whole, us human beings, we develop sickness when we are in environments that maybe do not align with who we are as a person or who we want to be. Um, and I think the thing you're aiming for is and what I found out about the system is I think that we are looking for different pain relievers in organizations, in politics, in society as a whole for curing cancer, for curing heart disease, for curing diabetes. So we do not actually address the things that are needed to address. And I think that is one of the parts that made me sick, actually.
I mean, this is exactly what I wanted to hear. And this is what happens in Brainy Heart, ladies and gentlemen. Things happen, and this is Brainy Heart. So, we didn't plan that Aleksandra talks about her health issues here. However, I wanted her to address this. To be in an environment, what she just said was very, very important. She just said that to be in an environment that doesn't fit my values and I had to behave like somebody else that I'm not, and that makes us sick. That makes
That's
us
true.
sick, ladies and gentlemen. And if you feel that you don't fit in, then try to get help from people like Aleksandra who understand, really, really understand, because knowing is not understanding. So you know what hunger is, but you first understand what hunger is when you're really hungry. And the same people like Aleksandra who really ate that environment. Yeah, I had to live in that environment,
Yeah.
and I wanted to say the S word, but I'm not going to do it. And well, this makes us sick. That's
Yes.
why everybody talks about in the recent years, to find ourselves, to find our true selves. Is it just milking the cow to be in an environment that you just get a financial safety only? How about your emotional safety?
Yeah.
Right.
And what
So
does the disconnection between the two do to you
exactly.
in the long run?
And when we just keep on doing the same thing, Albert Einstein said as well. So, like, you cannot just do the same thing and then hope that something else is going to happen. Well, it doesn't happen, right? So that is why it's a good idea to change things, right? So in HR departments, we have been doing retreats and blah all the time, and workshops, coachings, blah. It doesn't work anymore. You have to have a mentor. You have to have a human connection. For or with the people who understand, who truly understand what kind of environment you're in, who can empathize with you, who can feel you, and truly, who can truly feel you. This is very, very important. um my story I'll not tell today, but welcome to the club to expect or to feel that you believe that that your environment expects you to be somebody else, makes you sick as well. To my story sometime later when I feel like it, ladies and gentlemen. Aleksandra, Brainy Heart has got always 6 questions, right? So
Yeah.
you're a leader. You led people over the organizations. Now you broke through. You just said, okay, goodbye, this very orbit. I would like to change my altitude. And you are in a new orbit right now. So you can
Yes.
take a look at that madness down there with a complete different holistic view, I'm sure. So tell us now. It's the global functioning is so terrible, yeah, and we've been doing the same thing all the time and expecting that something is going to change. All these things don't happen. Be tough. Do not spare your words. Tell me what are the 5 leadership failures, according to your opinion, for these times, these mad times around the world.
I would say where I actually began a couple of minutes ago about the short term thinking, just trying to find quick solutions for here and now and not the long term solutions, and also just seeing things as parts instead of the whole, as you were talking about the holistic view. I mean, things are more complex, but people seem to like to simplify and oversimplify. And in that oversimplification, we get in trouble, both in corporate world and in the world as a whole. And in great also misaligning, I would say, purpose and execution, with having so many important words you were talking about before, and everything sounds so nice, but there is no connection to the execution. You do not see things aligning together. And this misalignment does also do us uh, sick, I think, because we hear something and this is what we want to experience, this is what we want to live, but then in the execution, we feel there is something missing and we do not feel connected. And there is a drive of people that are looking in the smallness and details, driving, finding each other, and driving, actually, I would say, our world to places that where the people focus, the real purpose focus and alignment is a bit astray today. And I think therefore more and more people do not watch TV, they do not watch politics, they are trying to find other ways of um, connecting, as you were talking about before, with themselves, without being, blah blah blah, and so on. And this is one of the main issues, I think, the misaligning with purpose
And
and
that's why you
execution.
actually left the corporate world. I mean, this was going to be my
I
next
did.
question.
Yeah, we were talking about the same words, but we were not in the bigger picture executing things the same way. Words are only words, and they can be really empty if you don't have an action connected to the purpose. And this is goes into my third thing. I mean, if you as a leader do not work on yourself and your personal development, and if you don't know who you are as a person and who you want to be perceived as, you will not be able to lead others. If you cannot lead yourself, you will not be able to lead others. And if you're not, I would say, if you're not conscious about your biases, then also you're putting yourself out there and suffocating everyone else with your own version of yourself, your own fulfillment of yourself. And that is also, I think, problematic with prestige, with people having roles because they are interested in having the title instead of actually interested in actual doing the work that the title gives them opportunity to do.
Yeah,
So, I
exactly. I
mean,
mean,
they go into each other a bit. I mean, both with the short-term thinking, misalignment with purpose execution, and I mean also with the personal development. They go into each other. They're like different parts of the same thing, I would say.
all right, so let's think out of the box. What is the future of helping people? So, like, I mean, this sitting together and on the prefrontal cortex, this is actually what the value understanding is, and this is how you lead people, blah, it doesn't work. So I
Mm.
mean, we still have a lot of people getting all these retreats and coaching and all that jazz, but they're still sick, they're still burned out.
Yeah,
So
because the
what is
structures
it?
are a
What can we
problem.
do? What can we do differently? Shall we just leave them with chatbots and say, well, like,
No.
die in there? Or I don't know. Shall we just go for 3-day work? What is the future of helping people in the future?
I think, Evelyn, again, that we are looking for the painkillers instead of actually addressing the sickness in itself. This disease is much bigger than uh, using just a quick pain reliever. So I think that
No Ritalin, no beta blocker. Oh wow.
I I mean, this is a really difficult question, Evelyn. And I think there are many different answers. And I think as many people you will ask, you will get as many different answers. But my really core belief is that this that you're talking about is a sign that something is amiss. People
Well,
looking for something else, trying to find ways of helping themselves is a sign that our structures need to be developed in a different way.
well, I
And
mean, I
sorry.
would like to add something there. Namely, I think it's a good idea to, like my dear colleague Jonas, mind kicker, the mind kicker. The future is to show people they're a lot more than flesh and bones.
Yeah,
And I remember me being an average coach 15, 20 years ago, right, when I started this thing, because I just worked on the prefrontal cortex. People knew what, like, intellectually, what
yeah.
leadership is. Oh, and you're going to be empathetic, then you have to make small talk. Yeah, we broke it down into, so, like, you have to do an appraisal, and then you start with sandwich principle: positive, negative, positive, blah. So we made a rocket science out of it, but it's still not working. There's no flash to bite into. And what the science says is that you just really, your brain primes a new habit when you really feel how it feels. So that means
Yeah.
you sit down with the client and then just say, well, like, when did you last sit down, put your hands on your knees, and really breathe?
Mm.
Hmm? And it doesn't have to be like my uniqueness, or no manipulation or gaslighting over here. So I do neuro and biofeedback, and I have the equipment, blah, to show people what they are. But as a coach, as a mentor, you can still make people feel differently, because our brain only marks when we feel differently.
Yeah.
Hmm? So, and then the learning process kicks in. Otherwise, oh, okay, yeah, I got it. So it's only an cognitive interpretation of what you heard, but it's not that you understood leadership. Is it so?
And as long as people are driven by fear, they will not feel differently because fear blocks everything out, right?
Exactly.
So, first of all, they need to be in an environment where there is support, where they do not feel fear, where there is room for them to express themselves. And then we can go to the next step of, of reprogramming, because if the fear is the main theme or driving factor, we have trouble, right?
Well, yes, but there I also think a little differently. I mean, like, we got, so knowing the last 20 years of development, of all of us. We've got these mobile phones, we scroll, we're hanging on this, all of us, most of us, yeah, have got this thing in our necks, yeah, behind our necks, our bone, it's just going up like a horn. And why? So, being in the linear world makes us anxious. Hmm? So, and You know that, I know that our brain, our happiness depends on movement, brain chemicals, serotonin. Fear makes cortisol, but when you just hug someone, then you get oxytocin. Yeah, when you move a little bit, then you get serotonin. Yeah, and
Yeah.
dopamine is like the Mario, I say all the time. Yeah, you get the bonus, and then 15 minutes later it's out. So and now I'm just going to say something radical, as radical as I am. Well, if you are a very fearful person, then stop working, fix your fears, fix
Yeah.
your issues, right? So because in a working life, being among people needs resilience. If you're afraid of your own shade, then if you just brought yourself to that level, then you have to pick yourself up as well, you, with people like Aleksandra, with other mentors and so on, where there's human connection. So
But this
I
is
mean,
so
people
important,
need to
Eveline.
fix their
Yeah.
issues before. I mean, like, I don't think it's corporate problem or company's problem to fix somebody's traumas. And according to the science, 97% of us have got multiple traumas.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, and that's why, to be honest, I just find it kind of irresponsible in the world. We should all be taking care of ourselves, and we have to, help ourselves. Then, we have to fix our problems and then stop being a toxic person in the corporate world who poisons the minds and hearts of these young people. You know, first, if you want to fix the world, there's a wonderful saying, you have to fix yourself first.
Yeah.
Hmm?
That's true. And I
And
mean, you're sorry.
go ahead.
I was thinking it's so important the things you're saying, but we see that this is an issue, not only in the corporate world, but in society at large. I mean, we see that people are getting attacked and nobody's going in to help. We see that everyone's talking about having moral courage or strong sense of justice, but then in the end, when something happens and they witness it, there are fewer and fewer actually going in taking action. They are not doing it out of fear of, being attacked themselves.
Isn't it
Or,
crazy that, yeah, exactly, that everywhere is empathy is coming out of ears. You just TikTok,
yeah,
Insta, blah, LinkedIn,
yeah,
empathy is coming out of our ears. And then the world has become a very unempathetic world. Mm.
yes,
We can't even afford to help an old person in the street, or we can't even afford a smile when we just grab ourselves a bread from the bakery. Very, very sad times, but it's global functioning, and we should just calibrate and change the things around with new sassed ladies and gentlemen. Now I'm gonna ask another question, Aleksandra. You live in Sweden. You lived in different environments. You worked in different environments. Did you have the feeling being disadvantaged, you being a female and you being not from Sweden?
um, my parents came from another country to Sweden in the
When you are
60s.
Swede, that's true, but your
Yeah,
parents were
yeah,
immigrants.
yeah.
Did
I
you
was
did
born in
you kind of
Sweden.
pay the price for it ever?
I think this is an issue we have at large in the entire world again, uh, doing it more globally. I mean, my parents coming to Sweden and other people coming to other countries usually do not take care of the expertise they bring into the country. We at at the present in Sweden have people with a doctor's degree driving taxis, and I think this is the case in many, many other countries too. There is a lack of competence, but still we do not use the competence that comes into the country. And of course, I mean, my parents growing up in other types of environment, coming to Sweden, was a difference in class um, changing because they became workers in Sweden. And then being up having an upbringing in with different values from something else, and being imprinted as a person that you're valuable, you are intelligent, and so on, but then meeting something else outside the home was interesting, um, and did actually form me as a person, both then and afterwards. And being also outspoken, forward as a person with strong beliefs, with moral courage. I've always had that since I was a small a child, and that hasn't changed. I'm not the one looking. I'm the one getting into the action and doing what is needed, and helping people. That is why I do the things I do today, and also why I left the world I was in, because I actually want to do a change. I would want to make an impact and do a difference. And what it helped me was that I was a person growing up studying a lot, watching, looking at how do people interact, what are they saying, and the struggles throughout the my childhood actually became my strength. That is what is making me good at the things I do today, because I'm so super attuned. I have tentacles everywhere, and I'm absorbing, listening, and this helps me also fine tune when I help others. So I usually say that I've climbed figuratively. I don't know how many Mount Everests in my life, both professionally and personally. Uh, with the cancer, with all of it. I mean,
Exactly, exactly. I just what I
uh,
can see. Yeah,
yeah,
already.
with all of it, and I came out the other end stronger, healthier, and full with power. And my goal is to help others, climb hills instead. So I think also the issues we have during our lives, the problems we face, either they break us or they build us stronger. So that's me.
Exactly, exactly. So when we have to when we embrace the issues that we all had, and we are all traumatized, multiple traumatized, and knowing this, we have to show more empathy. And but well, it's a process. We just have to talk about it, and maybe we can help two or three of you that it rings
Yeah.
a bell. Then we already won. Alexandra, global functioning we already talked about, and people perceive. People got more anxious also in Sweden, the same year in Germany. So around the world, the global functioning is really low. A German friend of mine just recently told me, a cool woman, she said, well, there is a Bösegeist, we call it in Germany. So like a bad ghost is around the world.
Yeah.
So another colleague, another cool woman who I regularly ask advice for, told me, Evelyn, years ago or a couple years ago, with one hand I was booking a flight, with the other hand I was cooking something, and said, well, today everything takes forever. So if you feel in the same way, whoever is watching us, well, it's everywhere the same. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with you, there's no bad luck, blah, or something like this. It's the global functioning. So I compare the times like the COVID times. Yeah, we are resetting, we are calibrating at the moment. Everybody is like fish out of water. Germans are totally, panicked, because what makes Germany is that the security. Germans love in general, German angst, the expression as well. What is a German most afraid of is they're losing their security and welfare. And all this, we just live everywhere, and everybody's anxious. Is Swedish people are also very anxious? Is that your perception?
I, I I think it's the same everywhere. You see the more extreme and the less extreme. You have all the different variations of it, I think, everywhere.
Yeah, it's not
And of course, social structure. That's important for many people, I think, in the West.
Yeah, exactly. And let's take a look if we are going to take the curve. What is more important for you? The last question. So, brain or heart or a brainy heart?
Being the person I am, and coming as far as I've done with all of the knowledge, I love structure. I love knowledge. So the brain development, and the neuroscience and the epigenetics is close to my heart, because I know it makes a difference and a great impact. At the same time, one of my employees actually said to me that it's wonderful how you connect your brain with your heart. And I'm an empathic person. As I told you before, intuition is something I have with me everywhere in every second, and I live for human connections. So the mix of them both, the brainy heart, and also, actually, I want to say it's important in these days that we find each other. The
Exactly.
people who want to, where the brain your heart is of importance, and this is how we found each other, right, Evelyn?
Exactly. Yeah, brainy hearts find each other, they impress each other, they follow each other, they support each other, and we need more brainy hearts. It's not only the brain, it's not only the heart, but a brainy heart is all what we need. In that sense, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening to this very video, this very brainy heart chapter. I look forward to seeing you in another chapter, Aleksandra, because there are a lot of things we need to talk. In this sense, take
Thank you.
care, keep your socks dry. Bye bye, everyone from
Bye bye.
Berlin.
Thank you. Bye.